You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. An abundance mentality. Now, I previously talked about having, how some people have a poverty consciousness. But, there are a few people out there who have an abundance mentality. Now, a person with an abundance mentality, the basic way to say it is, or to look at it is, they see an abundance. They see opportunity. You have a lot of people out here, they're talking about how the economy's shrinking, how jobs are disappearing. The person with an abundance mentality will see all the opportunities. Not just in business, but just in life, or since I'm known for talking about relationships, even in relationships. Like someone with a poverty consciousness would actually see that there's a shortage of available mates. While the person with the abundance mentality, the only complaint that they would have is they don't have time for all the possibilities. And that's the thing. If you're going to be in business, you got to be optimistic. You got to see it. There's still plenty of money out there. Even when they like cut jobs or something like that, with all the things happening, even with automation, there are opportunities that are popping up. So it's like, there's always something, and you have to have that. You have to have it. You have to have that mentality. And, as I talked about the poverty consciousness, how people who have that consciousness will just spend money, just buy things. The person with the abundance consciousness, they'll figure out ways to multiply that abundance. They get a lot of money. They don't spend it all. They put it away. They put it into income producing assets, to create more money. They invest, they save. They plan. And that's a very important consideration. And that's one of the main things you got to have just in business. I've said on here, I'm not even going to do what I've been doing and talking about different businesses, but just talking about the mindset. Well, the abundance mindset is very important. You got to think there's nothing but customers out there. Like, for example, with my book, with all of my books, in my mind, there's billions of customers. I have no place to go but up. For all the people that have bought my book, it's just a drop in the bucket. All the people who watch my videos, all the people who support me, that's just a drop in the bucket. I'm like, man, there's so much, and then there's so much opportunity, and then there's so much I can do. Otherwise, if you're going to be in business or just in life, you always have to see it that way. You always have to see it, because when you have that poverty consciousness, you limit yourself. The word can't, or I can't do this, the term I can't do this, or you just have that mindset when you don't have an abundance mentality that there's always a scarcity. It's like there's a scarcity of mates, there's a scarcity of money making opportunities. And it's like, no, if you have that abundance thing, you actually create. You actually create what you're looking for. And that's very important to consider. You actually create it. Your mind actually opens to stuff. You see the possibilities. Because, see, here's the thing. One of the things I do, just as I could be just sitting down listening to some music. I could be, a few times watching TV, or, in a bookstore or something. I just look at stuff. I see an opportunity. Like this cannabis thing. I looked briefly into that, but not a major thing, but that's a major opportunity, because, of course I said earlier that people get into, the stuff that's, falling, things falling apart or jobs disappearing. But the thing is, people still need stuff. People still have desires for stuff. So one of the things, you want to do, you want to get to the point where you're you're looking for those opportunities. You, instead of thinking, wow, I can't do anything with this. What can I do with this? How can I build this up? You know, because that keeps you going. That keeps you looking. That keeps you looking past your circumstances. That keeps you looking towards the future. You know, because okay, the example I used in the poverty conscious thing when I did the last video was people just spending money. They get money and they spend it. Some of the abundance consciousness, what they gonna do? They shoot. Since they know there's other opportunities, they're gonna save for it. They know there's something else. They know that this is temporary. You know, whatever condition they're in. And you know, there's been a lot of people who become millionaires after being destitute. You know, but they change their mindset. Once they change their mindset, that's the power. That's the real thing. You know, a lot of people talk about, well, you need to be trained in this area. You need an education. You need to be able to good credit, get a loan. And that's all true. I mean, that's all important. But none of that means anything unless you got an abundance mentality. See, there are some people who start businesses, right, who they start, some even have a good idea, but then they fail. And they can't figure out why they fail. That's because they still thinking in a poverty consciousness. Even if they make some money, what they do with it, they spend it. And there's a lot of people who get something, all of a sudden they spend it. They don't put it back in the business. You know, they spend all their extra. Then they wonder why they haven't like built up. And some people, you know, they even go backwards. I was like, nah, you still got that poverty thing. Get it out. Work on it. Every day. Every single day, look in the mirror and say, there's nothing but opportunity out there. I mean, write it somewhere. Like, opportunity abounds. There is an abundance. There's an abundance of everything, really, for you. Despite what people want to think, there's plenty of this and that. So, anyway, I didn't want to make this one too long. Let's go out there and make that money.